Welcome you all to Believers IAS Academy. In this today's particular video, we will be discussing about an important incident from the past, which absolutely made history, which created a history and is still like one of the biggest milestone when we go back, especially when studying the modern history and all the revolt that the revolutionaries did against the British rule. Which makes it very important and interesting to study about this particular topic, which is the Kakori conspiracy case, not just because of its present relevance as to completing 100 years, right? This 2025, it is been almost 100 years since this particular Kakori conspiracy case. Not just because of this it becomes important, but also for the fact that it was one of the most profound revolutionary activity of the revolutionists against the British colonial rule. And let's understand why in this particular video, and we will also try and get into the nook and corners of this particular Kakori incident. And now if you're wondering what this particular conspiracy case is all about, so this basically was a very daring act performed by the revolutionaries against the rule of British, right? Not in a nutshell, we can just put that this is one of the instance when the entire British government, the British Empire in India was shook. And what was the incident? It was a train robbery, right? A train robbery that shook the entire British government in India, made news back then and is still in news because of its 100 years of completion that we are commemorating in the year 2025, makes it absolutely important. So now let's try and understand what this particular incident is all about. So this took place near the Kakori village in Lucknow, and when was it conducted, or when did this happen? This happened on 9th August 1925. And this, once again I'm stressing, is remembered as the daring revolutionary act. And now why this becomes important? Because this becomes absolutely important because it happened after several incidents. Now if you have to try and understand the background as to what all reasons churned this particular revolutionary activity, we come across a lot of incidents, one being the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, right? And then we also know about the non-cooperation movement by the Mahatma Gandhi ji, which abruptly stopped because of the Chauri Chaura incident in 1922. And also another factor which led for this particular movement in fact was one of the revolution, the Bolshevik revolution, which not only just taught what revolutionaries can do, but also gave an insight with respect to the socialist ideology, which was later copied, or let's say it was transferred to the HRA, the Hindustan Republican Association, which took elements from the Bolshevik revolution, the socialist ideologies, alongside having so many other reasons, which is the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, the non-cooperation movement, the instance when people were almost tired of the non-violence kind of movement, when they decided that it is done, like we have to somehow bring in a different wave in the entire freedom struggle, and the formation of HRA happened. And after that was when this particular incident took place, the Kakori train incident, right? So basically it was to challenge the British authority, right, and was a move to inspire the youth participation in the country, right? Because after this, many great leaders like the famous Bhagat Singh, right, got inspired from this very incident, and makes it absolutely important as a topic that needs to be studied under the modern history subject, right? So now, what is the background of this particular issue? One was the 1920s dissatisfaction with the Congress-led non-violent approach, especially Mahatma Gandhi's non-cooperation movement, and how it was abruptly ended due to the Chauri Chaura incident, which took place in 1922, which obviously led a huge dissatisfaction amongst the people, especially the youths, the young blood, right? That was one of the reason. Then many young nationalists turned to violent methods to undermine British imperialism, right? One instance was the Chowri Chowra incident, and after that was another incident amongst the one was Kakori Train Action. And what happened there? The leaders of the Hindustan Republican Association, the HRA, decided to attack British finances by looting the government funds transported by train. So basically, what happened in that particular village, Kakori, in Lucknow, a group of revolutionaries, right? A group of leaders, right? Including, we'll see who are those leaders. They attacked this particular train and they robbed the Britishers' money, the funds, right, which Britishers had actually collected from the taxation that they were, putting on the Indian farmers, or let's say the Indian people, the taxed amount, right, which was collected. And a word goes that roughly around 8,000 rupees was, what was looted in this particular incident, and they stopped it near this Kakori, railway station, Kakori, village, and the train was robbed. The sum, as per few records, it says that 8,000 rupees was robbed, and this was for utilization of other revolutionary activities of the HRA going forward. The reason why they looted this was eventually to fund themselves to fight against the Britishers once again, because ultimately it is their own money, India's money. Britishers were collecting those money in the form of taxes which they were putting on the Indian people, right? So this exactly what happened, or this is the background with respect to the Kakori incident. Now, to understand what exactly happened, we discussed it was a train robbery. So it was stopped. The train was stopped at the number 8 down train, the train which was moving towards traveling from Shahjahanpur towards Lucknow, which was stopped near Kakori. And what was the aim? To loot the British government treasury box carried on the train, which had a sum of 8,000 rupees as per few records. And what was the reason? To fund revolutionary activities of the HRA, the Hindustan Republican Association. Now, who are the leaders, or who are the nationalist leaders, the revolutionaries present in this particular, incident was the famous Ram Prasad Bismil, Ashfaqullah Khan, Rajendra Lahiri, Keshav Chakraborty, Mukundi Lal, Banwari Lal, Thakur Roshan Singh, and also the famous Chandrashekhar Azad, right? Of course, however, after the case trial, right, it took almost a few months for the Britishers to take down or bring down those people who caused this particular incident. So afterwards, all these were charged, right? In fact, Ram Prasad Bismil, Ashfaqullah Khan, including Rajendra Lahiri and Thakur Roshan Singh, were sentenced to death, right? So, and many leaders, like not able to exactly remember the names, but many leaders were even sent to Kala Pani, right? Some awarded with death sentences, life imprisonment, right? A lot of things happened. But Chandrashekhar Azad, right, he escaped this arrest and he became very important, very, very prominent, because after this, right, it led to the formation of the new organization, association called as the HSRA, right? We will study about what that is in the next slide. But coming to this, the Kakori incident, why this becomes absolutely important, or why is it a milestone in the Indian history, is because of its nature of the revolutionary activity which took place, which was not just a political act, but also was a symbol, right? It left a mark. It kind of nudged the colonial government, right, where it wasn't just like a normal ordinary robbery, right? So it was a political act which nudged the colonial government, which shook them, and which brought the complete attention towards not just the Britishers' attention, but the entire youth of the country's attention towards the Indian national movement, right? So this kind of acted like an incident which unified the Indian youths, right? And later this led to the formation of the HSRA, which we will study in the next slide, which is the Hindustan Socialist Republic Association, right? So even before that, let's see, these were the one who were the martyrs, the martyrs of the Kakori incident who were sentenced to death. One is the Ram Prasad Bismil, is Ashfaqullah Khan, Roshan Singh, and Rajendra Lahari, right? And also a few statements, like, few documents say that the Kakori train, the train, the number 8 train, in that way, it was stopped near Kakori by Mr. Rajendra Lahari, who was inside the train, who pulled the chain and stopped the train exactly at that Kakori village, the Kakori district, where this robbery happened. So huge, respect to these kind of people, because time and again, when we think about our freedom national movement, right, we applaud a lot about major, nationalist leaders like freedom fighters, but these are the names which actually goes unsung, unsaid, right? So it is very important to also remember these personalities also, because bloodshed just doesn't mean that it is glorified because it happened, or because the bloodshed was of a great leader, but also every leader, right, every small leader also matters. Their life also counts, and we have to take this moment to actually applaud and remember them in this freedom week, right? It has just been 1 week since we celebrated our Independence Day. So I feel all these men who gave their lives actually were taking India one step closer to its goal of becoming independent, right? So yeah, going to the next slide. What are the impacts? Now the Kakori incident happened. Many leaders were imprisoned, were sentenced to death, right? Were even sent to Kalapani. And overall, what were the impacts? Because this is what is important for the examination. We have to not just understand the topic or the issue, but also the takeaways, right? The impact, right? The major impact, which changed the scenario of the entire freedom movement. So what was the very first impact? The execution of few revolutionaries like Ram Prasad Bismil, Ashfaqullah Khan, Rajendra Lahari, right, and few others, turned them into martyrs, right? Inspiring leaders such as Bhagat Singh and Chandrashekhar Azad, and not just them, but the entire country, especially the youths, right? It motivated them, right? So it brought that attention. It kind of unified the Indian youth towards this struggle of freedom, struggle towards achieving the freedom that India wanted. And after the Kakori, the Hindustan Republican Association, right, realized that the need for a stronger ideology and refined strategy, because the Kakori incident was organized by the HRA, the Hindustan Republican Association, organized this entire loot. But after it struck down, it realized that it needs a stronger ideology to be implemented with more refined strategies, and that is when a new, new association that got transformed, and this HRA finally became the Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. So basically, if you can see, a word socialist was added, right? A socialist word was added, giving fresh momentum and ideological direction to the revolutionary movement. So this basically was adopted or got motivated from the Bolshevik revolution, which primarily, not only just taught the revolutionaries about the revolution, but also taught them what socialist principles are and how that is important in terms of or let's say in these kind of movements, especially when you are fighting against a mighty emperor, or let's say mighty colonial government like the Britishers, right? And after this Kakori setback, the leadership passed to Azad, Chandrashekhar Azad, Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, Bhagwati Charan Vohra. So who were the leaders of the Hindustan Socialist Republic Association? It was Chandrashekhar Azad, Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, Bhagwati Charan Vohra. And another important thing, it added the socialist ideology, which aimed not just for political independence, very important, but also social and economic equality, right? So this is all that is with respect to the Kakori train incident, which is important for you to understand. For the from the examination point of view, you have understood what Kakori incident is, where it took place, who were the major leaders who got martyred, right? So even before we end this particular video, of course, we also discuss about the impacts as well. Now, even before we end this particular video, let's solve this one prelims question. It says, with reference to the Kakori conspiracy in 1925, consider the following statements. The leaders executed after the case included Ram Prasad Bismil, Ashfaqullah Khan and Rajendra Lahiri, correct? The Hindustan Republican Association later transformed into the Hindustan Socialist Republic Association in 1928, even this is also correct. The Kakori incident directly involved Bhagat Singh and Chandrashekhar Azad, which is, in a way not correct, because Bhagat Singh was not directly involved, but he got motivated from this Kakori incident and later joined, with other revolutionary activities after this, right? So third statement is wrong. The answer is A, which is 1 and 2 only. I hope you have understood what Kakori train incident is, and we have tried and discussed almost everything with respect to the topic. I hope you have liked the video. For more such informative content like this, please do subscribe to Believers IAS YouTube channel. Signing off, this is Madan Gopal. Have a beautiful day.